Was the moment you realized, oh crap, I'm the one being creepy. When my son was 1 year old, he had a phase where he would refuse to sleep in his own bed. So more often than not, me and my wife would have to keep our son in between us and our bed, or he would constantly keep waking up crying throughout the night. The problem was that I snore a lot and sleep quite heavily, so our routine most nights would be that I'd eventually wake up the kid with my heavy snoring. My wife would then have to shove me to wake me up and ask me to shuffle out off bed and relocate myself to our bed sofa in the living room so she and the kid could go back to sleep. This happened so frequently during this period that we never really bothered to fold up the sofa during the days and always kept it made as a bed instead. Now this particular night was no different than the others. In the middle of the night I wake up from my kid crying and my wife nudging me, still heavily affected by sleep drunkenness and barely brought to awareness. Instinctively knowing what to do, I roll out of bed and shuffle myself out into the living room to crash on the bed sofa yet again. While I lay there and move around a bit to find a comfortable position, my hand suddenly brushes against something warm and soft. I almost think to myself, my mind is too focused on trying to get some sleep that it doesn't really process this new information yet. My hand however instinctively squeezes the object a bit to figure out what it might be. It's strange because it feels like my son's foot. Suddenly the object jerks away from me. Oh okay, my son is here. I half-awarely think to myself, I guess I assume I must have dozed off and my wife left him out here with me for some reason. I continue to lay there trying to sleep for another minute or two, but then the realization suddenly hits me, oh shit, that is not my son. See the thing I've left out from this story and that I was completely unaware of in my sleep-drunken state. It was that on this particular night we had guests staying over. It was not my son. It was my wife's friend and her 2-year-old daughter who were visiting us and sleeping on our sofa while they were staying over. So here I am, sneaking into their room in the middle of the night, crawling into their bed and squeezing their feet, and that's when I realize, oh my god, I am such a creep right now. Well, trying to keep the rest of the story as short as possible, I obviously tried to sneak out of the living room as soon as I noticed it, hoping that no one noticed my unintentional visit. In the morning the first thing I did was that I apologized. My wife's friend had noticed it, but luckily she had also heard my son crying, so she had assumed there was no ill intent when I had evacuated the bedroom. Only a bit strange when I snuck in and laid down in the foot end of their bed. It was a full square bed and they slept in a different orientation on it than I usually did. Still though I felt, and still feel, really awkward about it even if it was almost 9 years ago now.